But when I came the first time, it was the Oblates that I came with. The association was created then, and it's remained ever since. I couldn't imagine going to Lourdes with any other group.
They're not about boasting or saying what they actually do, but when you do begin to see what they do, it's unbelievable. It brings tears to your eyes.
My only experience of the Oblates is from coming here, and from what I can see is that they've got a great kind of ethos of giving up everything and, you know, doing their best for everybody. I think that they just get actively involved to make people's lives better. They seem to just love giving up time and, you know, energy and effort to make little differences in people's lives.
It is a pilgrimage for all of us. And we just would hope that that experience here, that we experience together, is something that enables us to go home and to be renewed in our faith, to be renewed as individuals, and to continue to be the people that God has called us to be, with all our gifts, with our limitations, with our joys, our sorrows, and everybody here carries some part of them. They've had their own hardships in life. And here, I think, is a place where we share those hardships together. Helpers and guests. We just share life in a very intimate way, very close way. A way that gives life. We give life to one another. And that is very much, I think, at the heart of the gospel.
Very, very quickly I felt part of the family of the youth service. I felt part of something much larger than me, something much larger than the individual guests. I was obviously part of a huge experience. You would work with the same guest every morning, and that experience helped you to become very, very close to that particular person that you were caring for. They were putting themselves at your mercy, they were trusting you, so you felt a great responsibility towards this person as well. So that really added to my experience of Lourdes.
Everybody is just so nice. We all get on like a house on fire. It's amazing how everybody can just pull together. Everybody is just there for everybody.
Being able to help people, it's just an incredible experience, and I just love listening to their stories and helping them.
One of my friends, he encouraged me to come along. Like, it was something that I always wanted to do. My father did it for 12 years here, so it passes on through generation, like, you know.
Those youth workers are great. There's two great people that I had. The girl has travelled the world, like, you know, and now Brian was telling me today he's going off to Africa for next summer. So they do pick a great team.
Volunteering to work in the baths, that was a real eye-opener for me the first time I did it. Seeing all these people at their weakest, at their most vulnerable, it was a very, very emotional experience for me. I actually went back several times afterwards to volunteer again in the baths. You see some very sick people, and knowing there's nothing you can do, you just feel terrible, but at the same time you feel very privileged that your fellow pilgrims are allowing you into their lives, they're allowing you to share this experience with them.
I have one story that really struck me this year. There was this lady in a ward, and I walked by and I could hear she was extremely agitated, and I just walked in and I seen her and she couldn't speak at all, and the nurse said, will you take her outside? And as we were bringing her outside, I turned around to my friend and I said, we should bring her down to the grotto. So the whole way down she was very agitated, she was crying, and I just whispered in her ear, I said, you're going to the grotto now, you're going to see St. Bernadette and Our Lady. And she just calmed down. Once she walked into the grotto, she started touching the rocks and she didn't speak at all. She was completely silent. And then we brought her around and we stood in front of the grotto, And even when she wanted to say something, you can't make out any words, she whispered to me, these people have faith that's so deep and it's so real. It's as real as I'm talking to you.
It kind of teaches people that you can work through this. It's not the end. People come to some kind of acceptance of what they have and what they're going to do about it. And they've got a choice then. They've got a choice to either live their lives, with hope and peace and some kind of reconciliation between them and what they have and God, or they could be bitter. I'd rather be the former than the latter. And you see that in Lourdes every day of the week and twice on a Sunday.
Father Clericus is always looking out for us, making sure that we're okay and doing the right thing and just guiding us through this whole experience.
They come here and they enter into the experience of Lourdes. How do you put into words a place like this?
Tonight will be the big night, I think, with the torchlight procession. I just think that should be amazing.
Don't ask what the sick can give you, ask what you can give to them. And if you give something to the sick, you'll get something back 100-fold. People come here with every faith in the world and some with none. They all go home with something.
Being British, we're obsessed about the weather, so I obviously have to mention it's been the rainiest Lourdes I've ever experienced. Despite that, it actually hasn't dampened people's spirits. If anything, it's improved it. There's a party on the penultimate night every Lourdes trip, and this was actually the best one I've ever seen.
Flat about 7:30, and we have music and singing. We have cake and buns and tea and coffee and soft drinks, and we have a great night until about 10 o'clock, and then everybody retires to the bed.
Well, look at that! Well done! Well done!
These people who come and work with the sick and the invalids are all volunteers who pay their own fares out and give up their vacation to do this work. All of us dedicate ourselves to looking after the sick for those 5 days.
The hard part is always the saying goodbye. You know, it's amazing that for most of us, we never get together again in the year. Life moves on, and some people don't come back next year. That's happened with guys I've worked with, got sick during that 12-month period, and it's that saying goodbye. You kind of want to see everybody here again in 12 months' time.
It's an incredible experience, and year after year I just keep coming back to Lourdes. I'd be lost without it.
I used to come to enjoy the experience of being with young people and also to be with the older people, but now it's about being in Lourdes, and it's nice to be talking to young people and having fun with them, but it's more about Lourdes.
It's the best thing you could ever do. It's the best opportunity you could ever be given. You're walking away feeling, I got more out of that than anybody else.
I would like to see it as a family coming back together, a family reunion. The joy of meeting each other, the joy of spending these few days together, of living the life together and living the gospel. And that the gospel's not easy. It's a challenge when the alarm clock goes off at 5 o'clock in the morning to get out of bed. The day is long. But it's in that giving of, when we give of ourselves, when you see people giving of themselves to others, the little miracles of the day, the communications, the conversations, the sharings, that experience is something that is life-giving. And that life-giving experience is something that, certainly for me, is something that I take away from here when I go home. And it will be renewed again, because it's a story that is told year in and year out. The Oblate pilgrimage here in Lourdes in September.